How's it going? So today I am going to review a VKX cutting board. Now normally I don't do box openings, but I'm doing that today for two main reasons. One, if you look at the box, there is absolutely no name brand anywhere on the box. So you would never know what name brand this actual chuck cutting board is from. The other aspect of doing it is because you could get confused if you don't finish what you ordered. You notice how this says this is a chopping board set, that you get 4 chopping boards. And once you open it inside, you realize that there is only one cutting board inside of here. So it's slightly misleading to make you think you got a set. Either the person who sent it to me cut it out of a set, in which case, I got deceived, or it's just deceptive advertising. So that's the only reason I'm showing the box opening. So looking at this cutting board, one of the first things you will see is that it is plastic on the outside with a thick plastic handle, rubber coating around the edges that looks like it's supposed to be metal. It doesn't quite feel like metal. It feels kind of rubberized in here, but it could be metal. Only cutting will tell. This is apparently is just a beige one. One of the things I see on the side of it is a sharpener, but I can already see where that's going to be an issue. Not sure what this dent on the back with these dimples could see are for. I know my lighting is kind of bright, so hopefully you can see that, but I don't know if that's a defect or if that is an actual thing into the cutting board. Reason to the board, looking at the packaging, it doesn't really say much about that, but the only things to do now is before I get started, you can see it's about 10 inches. It's a decent size, probably for smaller vegetables, which I needed. I have a large wood cutting board that I normally use that is a pain in the butt to clean when I have something that's very small, or especially if I only have like something like peppers or a tomato or something like that. You don't want to pull out this big cutting board. So this should be good for it, just in terms of its size, as for cutting something small. So with that, let me rinse it off since I just took off the box, and then I'll get to cutting something. All right, so today I'll be cutting some primo tally peppers. Today I've cut some primo tally peppers. These peppers are similar to some that you see, maybe similar to ghost peppers / reapers, probably a little bit less than ghost peppers. They should be like a ghost pepper type of hybrid pepper. But I've been growing these in the backyard, so I'll cut a few of these up for something, a pork shoulder that I'm roasting, pork shoulder that I'm smoking tomorrow. So one thing I noticed, hitting the knife down, I don't really see any dings or marks coming in there, so that's just start off as a good sign. I will tell you this, as I'm cutting, I'm starting to see a few lines, but it could just be the water. I'll wait till after I rinse it off, and then I'll take a look and see if it's actual lines that are being left into the cutting board. All right, so after one time using it and cutting it, let's see if my light could show you this. There are line marks on it. They aren't very deep, but you can definitely see that there are line marks from the cutting already after the first cut across it, and it's everywhere that I cut. So it isn't very sturdy holding up, as you can imagine. I imagine a few cuts of this and it'll look like a mess. So it was nice coming out the package, but it's gonna leave lines on it. Like I said, right now they aren't that bad. It doesn't look like it's gonna hold any food or anything in there. If you rub your finger across it, my finger is wet, but you could barely feel it. It looks like it's more cosmetic to start, but it's definitely lines all over that. Here, let me see. I'm gonna move the light and see if you can see it more. And of course, now you won't be able to see it anymore. But yeah, so it does have a little bit of a cosmetic issue. So the one thing I was saying about the knife sharpener, it's a little gimmicky. The knife sharpener is a little gimmicky because if you're cutting something up here and you need to use a knife sharpener, that's not going to work. You're going to have to lift it up to use the knife sharpener, in which case you have to make sure you have no food on there. And if you have to do all that, you might as well use a separate knife sharpener, or you have to move it over to the edge off the counter to use it. So the knife sharpener is pretty gimmicky, and it doesn't even feel like it's sharpening the knife. In fact, it is not sharpening the knife. It looks like it's just plastic in there. So that's not going to do anything for your knife at all. All in all, I mean, it's a cheap cutting board, but I mean, if you could get past the cosmetic lines across it, recognize that this is probably useless. It's probably not bad. Is it worth 30 bucks? Absolutely not. Let's see if it holds up. It is supposed to be dishwasher safe, so I will try to use it in the dishwasher. Again, still not sure why this flaw is back here. Interested to understand why that is. Other than that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Alright, so I want to provide a quick update. Turns out that this is actually supposed to be two-sided. It does have the juice grooves. This is where you're supposed to cut your vegetables. I'm not sure if I would use it on this side or not, or just use the metal side. Not quite sure. I also recognize that this, what I thought was a defect, is actually supposed to be a grinding area, like if you're going to grind garlic, anything like that. Not sure if I'm going to use that also, but this is supposed to be two-sided. So I would no longer say that this is an actual flaw. This was actually a design, a purposeful design for grinding. The groove for holding juices is pretty thin. Not sure how much, but I'm assuming if you're cutting vegetables on a small board like this, you shouldn't have a lot of juices to capture in. But did want to note that it is a two-sided cutting board. So that is an additional benefit that I didn't pay attention to at first. So again, thank you for watching, and thank you for letting me do the update.